Hi, I'm Lisa, your local reporter. I'm here in ancient Greece, ready to witness the first ever Olympic Games. Before we start, let's go to one of our anchors, Ellen, for some background information on the Games.
It's 776 BC, and the beginning of the first Olympic Games, held in Olympia, near the west coast of Greece. It's in Zeus's honor that the Games are held. It has been decided that the Games will be held every 4 years.
All of the Greeks have based their lives and dates around the Olympics. These Olympics are hopefully going to provide an opportunity for people from all around the Greek world to meet. Politicians are planning to make agreements, businessmen plan to make deals, and people who have not seen each other for a while are just here for a good time.
If you want to come in first place, you have to be at peak fitness, so good training was vital. In the Olympics, you are only considered a winner if you come first. If you came second or third, you're considered a loser. They have to go on strict diets, including high protein. This was food like cheese and meat. Most athletes had their own professional trainers.
It takes a while to get ready for the Olympics. Greek athletes took their training very seriously. They had to swear an oath saying that they had been training for 10 months. The rules of the Games also said that they had to be in the city of Elis a month before the competitions began. Here, the training was supervised by the Hellenodikai. The Hellenodikai could control the athletes' diets and work programs.
All athletes had to train and compete naked. They coat their bodies in oil and then rub on sand, which sticks to the oil. They say that it's for health reasons. After training or competing, the athletes will scrape off the sand and oil with a scraper called a striggle.
The whole city has been taken over by the Games. There are 3 gymnasiums in use in the town, and the marketplace was turned into a practice racetrack.
2 days ago, the athletes, trainers, horses, chariots, and Hellenodikai, and other officials and guests set out for Olympia from the city of Elis. This 58-kilometer route was known as the Sacred Way, a reminder of the Games' religious beginnings.
The Sacred Way traveled along the Greek coastline, which stretches farther west today than it did during the 1st century BC.
The procession took 2 days to complete, stopping at different points along the way for religious festivities. At Piera, on the boundaries of Olympia, a pig was sacrificed.
As the procession was making its way to Olympia, spectators began arriving from all over Greece and from Greek settlements across southern Europe and the fringes of Africa and Asia.
Wealthy visitors sailed up the river Alpheos, and others came by donkey or on foot. Merchants and food sellers came along too, eager to sell food and souvenirs to the crowd.
Their top officials and important foreign visitors are staying at the Leonidion. This is like a huge hotel just outside the southwest corner of the Altis. Other visitors have to make do as best as they can, with tents, blankets on the ground, or wooden shelters. By the time the procession arrived at Olympia early this morning, the site was jam-packed. There is something called the Olympic truce, obeyed by the Greek city-states. The truce was written on a bronze discus kept in the Temple of Hera. It stated that all states taking part in the Games were forbidden to go to war, carry on dispute in the law courts, and execute criminals. People who break this truce will be heavily fined.
Back to you, Lisa, for more live footage of the Olympic Games.
As you can see, it's day 1 here at the Olympic Games. We have competitions anywhere. We have competitors anywhere from ages 12 to 18. The only competitions being held are the running, wrestling, and boxing for boys. Hello! Do you mind if I ask you a few questions on the first running race of the day?
No, not at all. What were you wondering?
Not much, but could you please explain exactly what today's races are all about?
Okay, so today I'll be running 3 races called the Stade, the Dialos, and the Dolichos. In the Stade, my opponents and I will sprint around 1 length of the stadium. The Dialos is also a sprint, but however 2 lengths of the stadium. You'll have to turn around the post at the far end and then return. The Dolichos is a long-distance race. Competitors ran 20 or 24 lengths of the stadium. The Dolichos will be the first race in the program of the running events. I am so honored to be part of these first Olympic Games.
Well, I better let you go so you don't miss your race. Nice speaking to you. Good luck. Back to you, Ellen.
I am here with my co-anchor, Sophia, and we are about to witness the horn go off for the first running race, the Dolichos.
Yes, and as we speak, I think the Games are starting.
Looks like the crowd favorite, Leonidas of Rhodes, has taken first place in the Dolichos. Now on to wrestling. I heard that Greek wrestlers are vicious. This could get interesting.
Hi, we are back at the studio. Before the match begins, let's see what the rules of this match are. It says here that fighters are not allowed to bite or dig their fingers into soft parts of the body, such as the eyes or groin. But they were allowed to do anything else.
What exactly are they allowed to do? Well, they certainly can yank opponents by the hair, which is why some wrestlers compete with a shaven head. These wrestling games could last for hours. You lost when either your shoulders or back hit the ground. There is even a law to say that if an opponent accidentally killed another opponent during the match, there was no penalty. Another interesting part to it is that they also cover themselves in oil and put on powder for grip. There's no weight category, so if you're small, you don't have much chance of winning.
Day 3 was considered the most important religious event out of the whole Olympic festival. The process was moved to the Atlas. Once they moved inside, they brought in a hard-to-control oxen and slit their throats, and let their lifeblood flow. Then they wrapped the oxen's legs in fat and brought them up to the altar. Then they burned their fat and bones. The rest of the meat was put aside for a huge banquet later on that day.
Now, to get more detail into the events, also on day 2 was the long jump. The athletes carried weights in both hands, each weighing up to 4 kilograms. And by swinging their arms, they used the weights to help them jump further. Rhythm and timing were essential.
Another event held was the javelin. The javelin is made from elderwood with a leather loop. The javelin is the size of a man. The best throw so far was more than 100 meters. Also, the chariot racing is another popular event.
There's 2 different types of race. The 2 or 4 horse chariot, pulled by either colts or older horses. The distance was mainly 12 kilometers. Some other distances were 4,000 meters long for young horses and up to 13,000 meters for other horses. The chariots themselves are very light. They are made from wood and basket work and decorated with paint and precious metals.
Now, the discus was very heavy. It's made from bronze, lead, or even metal. It has a flat and round shape to it. The current record is 69.4 meters long. Another good race is the race in armor, or otherwise known as the hoplodromos. It is the last race of the game. 25 runners wearing their helmets and greaves, which are long leg armor worn over the shins, and carried their shields, run down the stadium to the shout of the crowd. Sometimes the athletes dropped their shields or collided with each other.
On the first day, it was boxing for boys. The Greek boxers are very tough. The fighters wore strips of leather tied around their hands, which do not do much to soften the blows. They do not fight in a ring, but move around wide areas. All sorts of blows were allowed. One fighter was said to have jabbed his fingers into his opponent's stomach so hard that he pulled out his guts. A fight ended when a man surrenders, passes out, or dies.
Our next event to talk about is horse racing. There seems to be many types of horse racing, but one in particular is the straightforward race. The race was over 1,200 meters long. All the other types of races were for colts. In the mare's race, the rider had to dismount and run beside the horse to the finish line. The riders ride without saddles or stirrups. Jockeys also need great skill to ride without falling off and having no saddle.
Well, that's it for us. Now on to George for more information on the Greek monarchy.
Afternoon news with your favorite anchor, George Lightning. Today we have some breaking news about monarchy in the Archaic Period. First of all, let me tell you what a monarchy is. A monarchy is when a king or queen rules over all and has been passed down to this position by blood or relatives. Also today we'll be interviewing a Greek king named Pericles. Alright, let's get into it. I'm now going to switch to our very own news reporter.
Hello, everybody. I am here in Athens in the heated debate between the kings and the oligarchs. Let me give you some background information on what's happening here. The oligarchy has realized that they are far more powerful than the monarch, or the king. So, they are trying to take over. Let's see what someone from the crowd has to say about this. Excuse me, sir. What's your name?
My name is Noah.
Can you tell me how you feel about what is going on here? Or would you want the
Hold on. Here's what I have to say, is that this is complete madness. I think that we should just have everything stay the same way in this humble civilization. Everything was fine until now. It's just complete chaos. Anyway, I have to go.
Oh, thank you, Noah. So now we know how people feel about this. That is all for me. Back to you, George.
Thank you, Ari, for that report. Now we are here with our very own
Pericles. Hello, everybody.
So Pericles, tell us about your life.
Okay. I was born in 495 BC in Athens, Greece. After inheriting money as a teen, I became a great patron of the arts. In 461, I assumed the rule of Athens. During being a leader, I built Acropolis and Parthenon and led Athens' recapture of Delphi, the siege of Samos, and the invasion of Megara. My father's name was Examthus, and he was a wealthy aristocrat. I was young. I received a stellar education in music under the tutelage, and also was good in math.
So Pericles, can you tell us about your teenage years? How was it like, and what did you do?
Well, when I turned 13, I witnessed a Persian invasion that was just terrible, and I was evacuated from my home. And let's just say it was not the most fun. When I was 17, I got a ton of money, and that was kind of the beginning of my kingship. So yeah, that's really it. Thank you for this.
No, thank you. Okay, so we're back, and we have some interesting information about what is happening with their very own news board. Back to you, Ari.
Hello again. I have some very interesting news about what is happening here, as I am speaking right now to the oligarchs are about to take over, and it is a very big moment for us all. George, I will have you notified on what is happening later, but for now, Ari Reed, signing out.
Thank you very much for that, Ari, for giving us details on what is happening, and I look forward to talking about it later. But for now, let's give a little history about our very own period, the Archaic Period. I have my friend Ellen here today, and she will be giving us a little history about where we live today.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to give a little information about, well, the history about our time. So to get us started, our period started 750 BC. Through a period of time, we have learned many things about arts and crafts. Our place was also the beginning of a democracy. And that's about it for today. Bye!
Thanks so much for that, Ellen. I hope to see you next time. But for now, it's time for us to go to Noah with the oligarchy.
Anytime.
Okay, thanks, George. Today there's a serious conflict between the citizens of Athens and the harsh tyrant Draco. People do not agree with his laws and wish to force Draco out of power. In Athens, he made very harsh laws meaning certain death if one little thing wrong. So let's just say I got into the cookie jar as a little child. That would probably mean certain death under his rule. No one wants an evil tyrant like Draco in their city-state. Who would want a cruel and oppressive ruler ruling over them? According to Greek sources, there were many friendly types of tyranny where the rulers helped the poor. One good tyrant was Hippias. He was that friendly type of tyrant who at first helped the people and made fair laws, but then resulted into evil tyranny, where he sent out spies to stop people who criticized him. After interviewing some locals in Athens, this is what they said.
Well, Noah, I have to be honest with you. Me and these other people, about a few hundred people, are secretly trying to force down Draco and to switch to democracy, where we can live how we want and to rule ourselves.
Thanks, Ellen.
No problem, Noah.
Another way to get rid of a tyrant is to kill them, because usually a tyrant's son doesn't inherit power. Okay, I'm back to the news report. Another form of government is arising is called oligarchy. Oligarchy means few sharing power for those young viewers watching this. This new form of government is now being used more often in city-states in Greece. Few of the viewers may be under an oligarchy, meaning you're ruled by aristocrats, those heck of a rich people. More than my salary raise.
Shut up, or you're fired.
Okay, the oligarchs are treated like kings. During the day, they usually went off hunting and took part in chariot races. Later, toward the evening, they lived the nightlife. usually had parties and drank tons of wine and had entertainment hosted by hired professionals and slaves. Oligarchs ignored most of their citizens and passed laws which the poor did not like, and also used the army to force people to obey them. Under them, the richer became richer while the poor became poorer. In these city-states under oligarchy, there were poor people everywhere with rising wealth in the higher class community. This is reporter Noah handing the report off to Brendan.
Welcome back to the Greek News, where today we are going to interview on a Greek man in the city-state of Athens, where we are going to ask him about voting and what the ups and downs of a democracy are. We just got in on some breaking news in Athens where they said there isn't enough people at the assembly to vote on new laws, so if the Athenian government isn't pushing slaves out to gather up more men to go to the assembly by splashing red paint on them. Well, now, let's go to our reporter down in Athens at the assembly.
Well, thanks. We are here in Athens, Greece, which developed around the 5th century. It is a Greek city-state, known as a polis, of Athens, comprising the city of Athens and the surrounding territory of Attica, and is the first known democracy in the world. Well, that's just some background information on Athens, in case some of you didn't know. Well, now, we got that out of the way, let's look for a male over the age of 18 to interview. You can't interview women or slave, or even young male under 18, because they are not allowed to vote. We will be back once we return. We will have already found an Athenian citizen to interview.
Go.
Welcome back. We have found the perfect citizen to interview.
Wow, I can't believe I'm on this.
I know it's cool, but can you tell us a little bit about this Athenian vote, this assembly?
Okay, so about every 10 days ago, we all gather up on this hill called Sphinx, where we all vote for certain laws.
Okay, tell us more.
Also, every citizen has the right to vote and speak, to be a citizen, and have an adult what we consider the age of 18 and a mix.
Interesting.
Also, Athens is a direct democracy. In fact, Athens is the only democracy in our known world.
Is there any other absorbing facts you want to tell us about Athens democracy and the voting system?
In fact, there is. We Athens believe that Athens democracy might be one of the biggest contributions in the future world.
That is very amazing. But I think our time is running low, so is there any last information you want to tell us?
No, that is about everything I know about the Athenian democracy and the vote.
Okay, well, thank you for allowing us to interview. Well, back to you at home.
Well, thank you to our amazing reporter and that citizen for the interview. I think that is all we have for today. So let me thank our crew and our newscast for today, and thank you. Goodbye from our studio, and time to go to an interview of Homer.
Thank you. This is Ari coming from ancient Greece along the Asia Minor. I am here today with Homer, who is the author of some of the first literature here in ancient Greece. Today I will be interviewing Homer about his epics, or long poems, called Iliad and Odyssey.
Hello, I am Homer. Pleasure to be here.
He's a little bit shy. That is why we do not know much about his personal life and where exactly he lives. As I said earlier, Homer is the author of some of the first literature here in ancient Greece. Would you like to tell us about your books?
Well, my first book was Iliad. It was an epic, or a long poem about the Trojan War. 9 years into the Trojan War, the Achaeans sieged Chryse, a small town allied with Troy, Greece. During the battle, the Achaeans captured a pair of beautiful maidens, Chrysis and Briseis.
Wow, what happens then? Do Chrysis and Briseis ever get led back to the safety of their hometown?
Well, then Agamemnon, the leader of the Achaean military, takes Chrysis as his prize. Achilles, the other leader, and Achaeans take Briseis.
That is terrible.
However, in efforts to get the maidens, Chrysis' father offers Agamemnon a ransom of offering a large amount of money.
Does he accept?
No.
So what happens then? Does anyone ever stop them?
Little did Agamemnon and Achilles know, Chrysis' father is a friend with Apollo, who is able to spread a plague all over the Achaeans and get Chrysis and Briseis. I'll leave the rest of the book for the readers to find out what happens.
That is amazing. Do you mind telling us about your other epic, the Odyssey?
Sure. Odyssey is an epic I wrote that was split up into 24 books. It was about the king named Odysseus, who was the ruler of Ithaca.
Okay, but what makes it special, and how did it help create a base for ancient Greek literature and education?
Well, the main plot involves King Odysseus wandering around unsure of his surroundings, trying to find his way home after getting lost in the midst of the Trojan War. After 10 years, he is recognized and found by a faithful dog and nurse who bring him back home.
What happens when he comes back home?
Upon his return, Odysseus discovers that suitors are trying to make his wife fall in love with him. With the help of his son, Telemachus, Odyssey destroys these suitors and maids that had been involved. Diss all suitors.
This book sounds amazing. Is there anything else you would like to add to your viewers?
This epic is not a chronological order. Part of the reason that this epic is so well known is that the first book starts out in the middle of the story. If that makes any sense, Telemachus is searching for letters from his father, who had been lost in the 20 years earlier. After hiring 2 men to help, he searches and finds out his father is still alive. My book is composed of 12,109 lines written in Archaic or written language.
That sounds so exciting. Well, I believe that that is all the time we have here today. Thank you for joining us, Homer. Good luck in your career, and thank you for your accomplishments.
Thank you for having me here today. It was a pleasure.
Well, that is a wrap. Back to you in the studio. Signing out, Art, Channel 7.